Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the 2025 season of Super Rugby Pacific. It has been long awaited. Luckily, just about to start round one, and with a brilliant header, or New Zealand derby, you could say, for this first opening contest. The Crusaders taking on the Hurricanes. It is going to be a home game for the Crusaders, and this season they want to change it compared to what they had for last year. They were not as clinical as we are used to seeing, but now they've got the opportunity to fire back, get off with a great start to the season. Looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the Crusaders, quite a few big returns compared to what we saw last season, where they did have certain players missing. One in particular is that man at number 15, Will Jordan. The fact that he is back means that the Crusaders should be firing just that little bit better. Also, in terms of the returns that they have got, they've got Barrett back at 4. They've got a couple props from the All Blacks set up with Tamaiti Williams in there, alongside Fletcher Null, but still a couple players missing. So in that regard, we aren't quite at full strength for this team, but they are getting a lot closer than they had for last season. In terms of this Hurricanes starting lineup, they have also had their fair share of injuries, unfortunately, along pre-season as well as throughout the off-season. Sadly, you do see a couple of those players disappearing. We'll quickly get it here because it's decided to just now disappear. If we click that button, hopefully with a little bit of luck, the Hurricanes line up. There we go. Popping up on the screen. Xavier Numia, Jacob Devery, and Tavita Mafaleo as the front row. Brad Shields, Duplessis Karefi, and Braden Yossi. Now, I should mention Shields and Karefi are going to be the co-captains. Cameron Roigard at number 9, Peter Umaga Jensen, and Balin Sullivan in the midfield. So no Billy Proctor for this contest, but they have got Kini Naholo as well as Fihi Finina Norfo out on the wings. Anyone who doesn't know about that man, he is a tremendous player in the sevens. A lot of power, a lot of pace, and we will expect to see those two things from him throughout this match. Big opportunity for the youngster Harkin with the absence of Ruben Love as well. Then we have got there in the chat, Reeves has said first or second half highest scoring. I think second. Well, normally both of these sides do start to find their rhythm the later on in the contest that they are, but that doesn't mean that we aren't going to see quite a few tries being scored throughout the first half also. And then we have got their Saders are back, says Ruslan, and also should be a good one, says Kerr there as well. One moment, we'll quickly go like this and like that. In terms of the odds at the moment, which of these sides are the favourites, you may wonder, and the Crusaders coming in as favourites, something that they did have at the start of last season, but as the season progressed, they slowly started going further and further down the rankings. But I do think that this is a much stronger Crusaders side than we saw last year. Cullen Grace, Ethan Blackadder, Christian Leo Willie in that loose forward trio. Going to be able to really work hard for the Crusaders side. But I do want to know your predictions, ladies and gentlemen, for this contest. It is the first of 2 games that we are going to be covering on the channel today. So do let me know. Who's going to win it? The home side, the Crusaders, or will we see the Hurricanes come in as underdogs and get themselves a big win for the very first match? But like I said, 2 games taking place today. The other one that is happening is going to be the matchup between the Highlanders and the Waratahs. And that's going to be the Australian kickoff of 9:35. But we're currently only around 5 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. Looks like a decent evening in Christchurch. Currently a home side team all day. Also, you're going with the Crusaders there. And boo the Saders, says Kerr there, and going for the Canes earlier on. Hello. Wishing you all the best with the start of the Super Rugby season. Can't stay, unfortunately, because I have to bore some corporate heads for the presentation. Enjoy, says Sebastian. So, yeah, hopefully it all goes extremely well. And have you had a chance to Google Ovation of the Seas iFly? I have. It's an interesting setup, I do have to say. Just a tube that you go up and down. I don't know how you control it, but it looks intriguing. That is for sure. I recently got a new job at $29 an hour, says Max. Nice. But you also mentioned earlier on you're not getting Sky Sport for the Super Rugby this year, which is an interesting choice. I know how closely you normally follow the comp, but maybe work means you don't really get that chance. Saders 30, Canes 25. Crowd looks disappointing for a stadium capacity of 17,000. Be lucky if there's 10k people in attendance, says Swizzle. Yeah, I haven't really seen the attendance as of yet, as it's only just coming in for myself. Yeah, there's a few. Like, it's not the best crowd that they could have asked for. And to be honest, if they're not getting a sellout for this game, they probably won't get a sellout for most. But honestly, I feel like any crowd is better than none at the moment. And I mean, we are seeing some competitions, sadly, with a bit of a decline in terms of the numbers that are coming to view them. It's going to be tedious. I'll make them earn the weekend. Says Sebastian, and awesomeness it'll be. Says reflecting. And there as well. Now, I will quickly mention my aux cable, I don't think is unfortunately plugged in. So I'm just going to shoot around the back of my PC, plug it in, and also take my jersey off because it's actually a sauna in this room that I'm in. So one moment, we're going to be just around the back. You'll still be able to hear me on the microphone as well. But I am quickly going to be plugging in this cable so that it works a little bit smoother. And also taking the jersey off because I'm starting to get a bit of a sweat up. And yeah, it's only the start of the game. So rather than cooking the whole time, I thought I'd get in now rather than passing out. Yeah, it's kind of boring this year. Plus I'm working nights anyway. So what makes you say that it's boring this year compared to last? Is it the fact that the Rebels are gone? Because surely that's not it. I don't think that's high up anyone's list of why the competition would be less exciting this year. And just leaving Napier now, wishing I'd been lucky enough to be a port with a game on here. Says Kerr. And Kiwi Rugby League shirt, says Sebastian. Well spotted. Yeah. For some reason, I'm up to that stage of the wardrobe, which is just pretty much all the random rugby league gear that I bought when it was on clearance a wee while ago. They are just talking about those returns. Cam Roigard, he did get injured during the Super Rugby season, which actually saw him out for quite some time. Got to come back for the November internationals, which was fantastic to see. And I don't know, I just think it just needs some changes. So what changes would you say that it needs? I'm going to keep on asking the question because I want to know what makes you think that this year it's no good before even seeing a game. And should have gone and picked up the new Canes top while I was in Wellington the other day, but didn't get the chance to get off. Says Kerr. It does look very nice. The bright yellow always just looks the absolute best. We have good there. I hope the Māori team wins. Says Reflecting Trees. Now, still a decent crowd, to be fair, in Christchurch for this match. Of course, that new stadium is in the process of being built. Currently a discussion about who was going to be sitting where. David Havili going to be leading out his Crusaders side. Get the new Crusaders jersey. I'll be honest, I do like the one with the mountain on it a little bit more than this year's jersey. Nothing against the design, like it is decent. But I did like the one with the Southern Alps in the background. I felt like that looked extremely awesome. And Kula Bar is the sponsor on the back of the Crusaders kit. I'm not sure what Kula Bar is, but they're charging out onto the park for their first home game of the 2024 season. They want to go off with a hiss and a roar, start off with a bang. Whether or not they can do so, we will soon find out. And I, Hamish, woohoo, here we go, says Moa Hunters. Yeah, first game of the Super Rugby season. Of course, extremely exciting. Or I find it exciting anyway. Getting to see the new players who are coming through the ranks. Fihi Whenua Norfo, I think that he is definitely one to watch out for the Canes. Duplessis Karefi, a consistent performer at Super Rugby and also Bunnings NPC level. I'll need to get it, just need to order from the UK. Says Kerr. Kulabar Capital Investments. And then the Crusaders, they've also got one right on the middle of the front. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, it is dominated by the sponsors this year for the Crusaders kit. Kubula, I think, was on the back of the Hurricanes one. And Stoke Rugby is back on. Weekends be great now, says Heaney. And let's go the Canes, says Scott. Yeah, the Hurricanes, quite a few supporters in the stands by the looks of it, but a lot of people excited to see that man, Cam Roigard, back into the action. Only had 5 games, and up till that stage, he was scoring tries for fun, looking like an outstanding player. So I do just hope we get to see some sort of Cam Roigard magic again this year. Because now that TJ's out of the picture, now that Aaron Smith, of course, is no longer in the running either, you are in that situation eventually that torch is going to get passed. And I feel like he's already got one hand on that torch. Will Jordan, another man who missed the whole of last season. Thoughts on Gatland getting the boot? I think it was probably for the best. Like, he's said as well that, like, I feel like it wasn't so much, it seemed mutual enough, I think is the best way of describing it. Because Gatland could have easily just decided not to leave, and then he would have had to be paid out. But he's decided to go. And I think his daughter put a post about it saying that people seem to have very short memories because he was the reason that Wales were so good a little while ago, having about a 60% winning rate with them. But now kicking off for the Super Rugby Pacific season, and the Crusaders will get first ball in hand. Noah Hotham, another young man who's had a bit of time in the All Blacks setup. David Havili chasing after the kick, can't quite get there, and it sits up nicely for the young Harry Godfrey. We need more longer back for the Crusaders, says Chris Hayes. And how many losses are we giving the All Blacks this year? Does Razor keep his job if there's too many? It's very interesting because, like, I think it's more now than ever we've realised how quickly people just say, oh, they've lost a game, sack the coach. I mean, for Gatland's case, 14 in a row does hurt quite badly, but I don't think many coaches outside of Gatland could have done much better with that team. But it's going to be a knock on early from Kitty Naholo. They are going to go right back for the penalty in favour of the Hurricanes. We've got a donation from King Zion. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. We have also got there, you are the best YouTuber. I'm back, King Zion. Remember me? I do indeed. It's been a little while, but it is great to have you back, and thank you very much for your generosity. Early offside penalty. And, the Hurricanes decide to kick towards the corner rather than going for the 3 points. So going aggressive from the get-go. Of course, for Super Rugby, to be able to get yourself that winning bonus point, you do need to get 3 or more tries than your opposition, unlike the other competitions when it is only 4. And we have good there, Gatland should have been 5 years ago. Yeah, like, he said right from the get-go when he signed back, if he had known all the problems in Welsh rugby, he wouldn't have taken the job. But that was unfortunately after he had signed the contract and then learnt the problems that they've got. But, you know, it's not the coaching and it's not the players at the moment. For Wales, that's a problem. It's the development. You could go in depth about it. Wales 14 in a row and counting. Yeah, it's not going to get any better anytime soon, unless they get some sort of miraculous victory. Are you doing Super Rugby tipping and fantasy? Nah. Terrible at predictions, as you guys know. So that would not be a good idea, as I would finish in the bottom 1%, I would say. Wales need more grunt, says Brian. Now Kitty Naholo. He's got plenty of said grunt, and gets back up to his feet to go again. 5 metres out from the line at the moment. The Hurricanes still on attack. Roigard looking for it, but instead it's going to be Callum Harkin, who actually ends up playing halfback. Now off to the right-hand side, Isaiah Walker-Leawiti. And that one's going to be stripped out of his hands, and they'll go back for another penalty in favour of the Hurricanes. Glasgow and the Canes, brothers in arms. And go big or go home. And hi there, Kiwi lads. What's your day at work? Or what a day at work. Smell of grease and oil. I wish both teams good luck, says Spider Mick. Yeah, hopefully it's just I want to see a relatively high scoring game. If it's on offer. If not, then it'd be unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully it does live up to expectations. We want a good opening contest. Right, they're going back for another one to the corner. Are you doing the Blues versus Chiefs live stream tomorrow night? We certainly are, yep. We are going to be covering that game, as well as a couple of the other Super Rugby contests that are coming up. Are you doing the Blues? We certainly are. But now, opportunity here for the rolling maul early on for the Hurricanes. Jacob Devery, the hooker. Normally they do have a Safwa more in there, but due to injury, he is unavailable. Raymond Tupu going to be making his way off the bench. Nicely thrown in. Zaya Walker, Leo Wirries, and Gatland quit Wales. Yeah. A big tackle made by Cullen Grace. No, in fact, it was a different man with a little bit of a ginger tinge. In fact, it's Blackadder to make that tackle. Now, no advantage. One's going to be for not rolling away. I really hope this whole season's not going to be played under penalty advantage. Third blow of the whistle. Referee's going to go to the pocket here. Oh, good on you, Scott. He's going to the bin. What are we, 3 minutes and a half in, and the All Blacks captain will be the first player to get sent to the bin in Super Rugby 2025. Do a weigh-in after the game, please. Do a weigh-in, as in like of myself, Levi? Or like, as in a weigh-in of that Blues-Chiefs game, I assume. Are you doing Waratahs versus Highlanders? We certainly are, all scheduled and ready to go. So yeah, illegal clean-out going against Scott Barrett. They got Back in Black playing over the stand speakers at the moment, but really it's back in the sin bin for Scott Barrett, as he spends a lot of time there. Nicely taken by Caleb Delaney. But now, 5 metres out from the line. How's that a bin, G, says Rock My Balls. That's an interesting name. That's slightly changed from last year, I believe. Right, they've been told to use it. Kenny Naholo only a couple metres out from the line. David Havili is able to drag him down, but the Crusaders, they are having to scramble early. Brad Shields can't quite stretch out. Isaiah Walker-Leawiri, once again, just short of the try line. Braden Yorsey had a standout season last year. Roigard sells the dummy and wrestled backwards by Christian Leo Willie. Just to read exactly where Roigard wanted to go. We have good there. Are you doing the Warriors tomorrow night? We are not, no. And also, we have good there. How do you get carded in 3 minutes? Yeah, it's actually impressive. Like, other than... In fact, I want to say that that's close to the quickest yellow card for something that isn't like a clothesline or a high shot or anything along those lines. Roigard, flat ball, very close, and they're over for the first try of the season. Duplessis Karefi is the man who goes over. Oh no, he pops up as Jacob Devery. In fact, got the 2 and the 7 confused. This is so soft. And Saders by 10 says, Chris, I'm watching this live stream on a Thursday night. I forgot how alien it felt knowing the rugby game in New Zealand was happening at that time. I saw this on the BBC. You either give Gatlin responsibility for success and failure, or say it's Welsh rugby. Can't give Gatlin success, say failing's a Welsh rugby union. It doesn't work like that, says Kerr. Yeah, although it also player pool-wise, you know, back when Gatlin did turn it around, they had a whole different group, and all those guys are now gone. But is the reason that they're gone not so much because of Gatlin, but because of how much rugby in Wales has diminished over just the last, let's say, 8 years or so? Like, they are losing young talent coming up through the rankings, and there's a lot more problems, I think, than the last time. When Gatlin came in the first time, they were at literal, like, rock bottom. And now they're back there, but there's not a lot of coming back at the moment. A little bit similar to how the Wallabies were for a bit of time, how no matter what they could do, no matter what coach they found, they just couldn't, like, get out of it. Going for first Rugby Streams comment Simbin with his spamming of score prediction. Whereabouts was Chris? I completely missed Chris. Oh no, the Saders by 10. Chris said it about 4 times, I do see. Blues the team to beat, says Spider-Mick. But how do we know, seeing as they've only had the pre-season at this point? They have got a strong lineup, though, to be fair. They are defending champs. That's a good kick towards the touchline. Looks like an injury for Noah Hotham. This doesn't look too good. Bit of a shin injury. Maybe even a little bit lower. Who do you think is going to win the season, says King's Ion? I think it's definitely New Zealand side's competition to lose. But then that's always normally the case for Super Rugby. But, you know, the Blues are looking good. The Chiefs look like they're going to be right up there as contenders yet again. And then I do think that the Hurricanes are thereabouts. We have to totally agree. There are many issues. My point is that the success and failure is shared. Other people talk like the success was all Gats. Yeah, it was certainly the players that he had as well. Although from the last couple of weeks, something else I've learned is people love to, like, put all the blame on one person. It's a little bit similar to, well, not really. I was going to say for Scott Penny, but a lot of people, when they were criticising the Crusaders, didn't even know who their coach was. They just went, it's not Razor, so that's why they're losing. Nice run 4 from Cullen Grace on the halfway line at the moment. Now, kicking it high, Kamara. Waiting for this one. David Arvelli manages to slap it back. Fletcher Null thought that he was going to be quick enough to get it, but Roigard wins the foot race. Who's the ref tonight? It is Nick Berry, which means 20 penalties-ish, I would say. That's a good kick downfield. Bounces into touch. Okay, Noah Hotham does not look good at the moment, ladies and gents. It looks like he has got some sort of bad injury. It was actually in the process of Devery scoring. His knee got buckled. You reviewed the Blues game a few days ago. I didn't see Satutu's name in the lineup. No, injured with a knee injury at the moment, Hoskin Satutu, which is why he is not available for this match. And instead, Cameron Su'afua finds himself in that number 8 jersey. When's the All Blacks' next match? Next match is going to be taking place in late June, July, that kind of region. So quite a wee while, but Noah Hotham, he's going to be making his way from the field with that knee injury, or maybe a little bit lower in the leg. But Preston comes on, and that is the last thing that the Crusaders wanted, to lose, ironically, what is their more experienced halfback in this case. Now he says Charles Jameson. Hopefully nothing too serious for Noah Hotham. Only one match under the career of Kyle Preston. That might have been pre-season. So, you know, it's certainly getting thrown in the deep end from the get-go. 72 minutes left to play. And Scott Barrett effing my fantasy team already. Was he in your fantasy? If he was, that was brave. Because, of course, he can be susceptible to a card. But now, Ioane Moananu. Justin Marshall's just made a Justin Marshall comment. He's pretty much said that if the young man who's got one cap isn't like competitive with Cam Roigard, pretty much why are they playing? Like, in terms of, if that's not the level that they see themselves at, then they shouldn't be there. That's going to be a knock on. Of course, give him a few more caps first and he might be going better. Speaking of caps, Che Fiaki rocking the scrum cap this year. And we have got there, what does this competition represent? So this is pretty much the rugby in the Pacific, involving New Zealand, Australia, and then also Fiji and, you know, Samoa, Tonga, etc. for Moana Pacifica. Of course, they're going to be playing tomorrow with none other than Ardie Savia at the helm. Right, 4 minutes remaining of this yellow card for Scott Barrett, and now another line out coming for the Crusaders around halfway. Already a little bit of a slower approach. The referee has told them to keep the pace up. That one's going to be knocked straight back out, and now it's going to be the Hurricanes line out. The Crusaders, they were able to slap it down on their side, but didn't find the 9. Ball rolls out. Okay, Nick Berry is not taking any time wasting at all. Anytime someone tries to slow it down, have a little bit of a breath, he says, nah, get back in there. Got a game on. Now, the Hurricanes, they are the team with the possession at this very moment. Nice run forward from Braden Yossé, tackled by Ethan Blackadder. Now, Roigard, that was for Te Whihi Whenenanofo. Unfortunately, not quite the first touch that he would have been after. And they will go back for another scrum. Crusaders will win, says Biniamina. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And we have got there the return of sanity. Let us go, Hurricanes. And this will be a roller coaster to watch, since both these clubs included a rapid. Says Charles, yeah, there will be fast-paced rugby, and it looks like it's already starting to take a little bit of a toll on the players. Yeah, we're only 9 minutes in at this point. Another scrum, though. A few early handling errors. Currently still Barrett will be off the field for another 3.5. Pack weights, 930 for the Crusaders compared to 897 for the Hurricanes. So a massive forward pack coming for the home side. Now Christian Leo Willie goes off now to the youngster Preston, looping around play, good hands. Tackled by Harry Godfrey. Now another advantage, that's for flopping and over the top. That was a forward pass. So they'll go back for another penalty in favour of the Crusaders. And this will be a roller coaster to watch. Yeah, it's been a little bit stop-start for the first 10 minutes. Hopefully we start to find some sort of rhythm relatively soon. Now, kicking towards the touchline for Kamara. Does make sure it goes out. So I'm going to be about maybe 22 metres out. Who are you backing tonight to win? So in my original prediction, I went with the Hurricanes by 3. Just because I felt like this Crusaders team, they've got a few big players missing, but also now that they don't have Noah Hotham, I feel like that might make my prediction a little bit more likely. And yeah, this Hurricane side, when they're on attack, do look extremely strong. Right. Line out throw here, 22 metres out for the line for the Crusaders. Nicely claimed by Cullen Grace. Looks like he's landed awkwardly under the breakdown, trying to ask the referee for a penalty for having his legs taken out from underneath him. Right, they're broken away now, 20 metres from the line. Shelfoon plays half, goes off to Grace. Oh, that's a bit of friendly fire. Tafita Mafaleo just took a headbutt from his teammate. But he's back up to his feet, to be fair. Preston, back into the pocket, change of direction. We are yet to see the ball hit Severi's hands. Nice run forward from Che Fiaki. Awkward twist on the way down. Karefi over the ball. And he will get the turnover again. Just like he did all throughout the Bunnings NBC. Just like he has all throughout 2024 Super Rugby season also. Now Callum Harkin able to kick that ball downfield. So they've done decently so far defensively. Will you and George do another mukbang video on the entertainment channel? Not that I know of. Me and George did film today though. We filmed Rugby 25. That's an interesting game. Right, Scott Barrett back out on the field after his 10 minutes in the naughty chair. Let's hope that he stays out there for the rest of the game. Or else not be ideal. But yeah, that video hopefully will come out tomorrow or maybe throughout the night. Now rolling more here for the Hurricanes. And there's another penalty advantage from Nick Berry. They're certainly not letting anything slip. And that's going to be a knock-on on the ground, so they will go back for the original penalty. As Rugby 25 out now, says Mr. Mann. Yes, but I would definitely wait a little bit longer before you purchase it. Just because it's still, in my opinion, the gameplay's still like early access. It's got a lot more player faces scanned in. In fact, they've got quite a few now in there, including these two sides. But the gameplay really does let it down. And I'd like to think that, you know, a month or two of them once again trying to fix it, it would take a step in the right direction. But for now, it's pretty, like, I don't want to say it's unplayable, but it's close to it in terms of some of the gameplay, which isn't ideal. But the faces look really good. You streaming the Landers game? We certainly are. And Reese will score tonight for his birthday, says Raphael. Yeah, for that to happen, we just have to see him. I don't think I've... Oh, there he is. Just made a tackle, although they've gone out wide and almost got it out to Sever Reese's wing. Now Fihi Finina Norfo tries to get through Che Fiaki. Now just a knock-on advantage in favour of the Canes. Braden Yosei. 14 minutes in. Roigard. Nice pass in here from the Canes. Kininaolo. One more out wide and Jacob Devery gets the double. And they've got their second try of the contest for the Canes. Jacob Devery, I should say. Having a dream start. He's only had 3 tries in his career. And he scored 2 already. What is up, the Crusaders? Says Novmum. And Barrett will score, says Chris Hayes. I love the Lomu game, says Mr. Mann. And Lomu Rugby was 4 play, says Kerr. But yeah, it's certainly not like... Me and George, we played one game. There was swearing by the end of it. And then we played another one and it was even worse. But, yeah. Faces-wise, though, it looks good. I'd recommend checking out those videos we've done of the Springboks face scans as well as the All Blacks. We did that one today. A few of the players looking very close to themselves. Probability for Harry Godfrey to get this kick over is about 70%. And it has gone straight down the middle, making the score now 14-0 for the Hurricanes. Like I've said there, just coming back from 2 serious knee injuries. For Jacob Devery has now got himself 2 tries. at the start of the season. Go to try scoring, Evan, says Drape. Yeah, the Kane supporters are absolutely loving it. The Crusaders supporters not so much. But we are still very early. Fihi Whenua Norfo not getting the bounce of the ball. Cullen Grace scrapping hard for it. Has managed to get the possession back for the Crusaders. I spot someone eating KFC in this match, says Charles. Now Scott Barrett runs straight at Yorsi. Oh, another advantage. Haven't had too many, and that's a rough pass. Shalfoon does well to handle it, and they'll go back for another penalty. There hasn't been a lot of this game that hasn't been played under penalty advantage as of yet. But the tricky part is, I don't know if that's because it's Nick Berry or whether it's because it's the way that they've been. Okay, there was also a tackle off the ball, which means now the Hurricanes are on their last warning, and they might find themselves with someone heading to the sin bin very soon. Okay, Nick Berry, stern warning. Speaking of foreplay, how's everyone's Valentine's Day? Well, I'm here, and that's pretty much the plan of Valentine's Day. It was recording Rugby 25 and getting streams set up, so that kind of tells you where I am at the moment. Where my boy code says Ruslan, and some of my friends told me that this year is the year of the Crusaders. They're behind and doesn't look good at all, says Spider-Meg. Yeah, although still very early. Like, stranger things have happened than a side losing their first game of the season, then going on to win it. That's a big run forward from Levi Moore. Offload to Severis. And he's going to have to work hard to get it down and can't quite do so. That was going to be held up in the in-goal area. Oh, bit of push and shove there as Iwaka-Leawiri has Preston trying to start a scrap with him. Needs to be a little bit smarter about it, the young Crusaders halfback. Because he's the last guy that they've got for that position. I don't care for Valentine's Day, says Novamum. And try, says Ruslan. And what's the score? Currently 14-0. Now Moore all but scoring. That's Roigard and Kenny Naholo, the two who kept Severis off the ground and stopped him from being able to get that try. That is scramble defence at its finest. There's no Valentine's Day when you have kids. Sad life, says Drape, and probably been asked this 100 times, sorry. How's Rugby 25 so far? Is it any better than Rugby Challenge? That's actually, believe it or not, Xavier, the first time that someone's asked. But to answer that question, graphics-wise, looking good. Looking very nice. Oh, beautiful run from Will Jordan. We'll go back to that in a moment because Preston will now score the try for the Crusaders. Counter-attack out of nowhere there. Just a stock standard drop goal. Or sorry, not drop goal, but drop kick from the goal line. Get us back underway. And then pretty much just one or two phases. Will Jordan inside ball, beautifully done. Cullen Grace wanted to keep up. He was pulled back by Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. So that would have been an interesting one had it not been for Preston being in that support run as well. But the Crusaders strike, getting their first of the day. But yeah, graphics-wise looks great. Gameplay-wise, it's awful. Like, in the nicest way possible, it's really bad. It's pretty much the same as early access. If anything, they've made the passing worse. So it's very hard to play a full game without feeling like you're going nowhere. But graphics-wise, looks good. And gameplay-wise, game mode-wise, they've got career mode. They've got like 140 teams, so it's looking promising there. It just needs a little bit more. In the gameplay, I still prefer Rugby Challenge 4 gameplay side of things. But graphics-wise, it does look a lot better. Like, you can tell who the players are from a distance. Spending time watching rugby is better than Valentine's Day. And rugby is way better than Valentine's Day. And which other sports do you watch apart from rugby? A little bit of cricket as well. And excellent. This is the kind of opening game we want, both sides putting things together and showing potential. Says Kerr. Nice kick downfield from Will Jordan. Already 20 minutes into this contest, and both sides have struck. Got themselves the try. Godfrey. Looks like the Hurricanes have decided to try and take this one quickly. Now Roigard. Cross to Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. He almost dropped that on the ground. That is one thing he gets criticised about, is his handling for the big man. I might give you the day off, says Fluffy. And excellent. Oh no, I read that one. Who's your Valentine? I guess, myself. Now, that statement could be taken in a couple ways, but I mean more so that I don't have one. No, that's excessive, a half day off, says Fluffy. And Crusaders might come back, says Charles, but now going to be kicked downfield from Kamara and gets it in touch. Why don't we just get the Rugby 08 mechanics and just upgrade the gameplay? Yeah, see, it's one of those ones that I think they're trying to be a little bit different and bring that Rugby League Live side of things, seeing as it's the same developer, but it doesn't work in Rugby Union. You know, like some of the tackle animations still are Rugby League. The rules, they don't have knock-ons that I know of at this point in the game. The offside penalty is a bit excessive. Did you get your secret lover a present? No, because they're that secret that I don't know them. I'm sat in my cabin eating pizza alone. Typical, I'll be the same next week for my birthday, says Kerr. What date is your birthday, Kerr? I feel like I should probably remember it. It's not the 20th? No, it's not the 20th. Whose is the 20th? Someone's is the 20th. I'm not sure who. Severin Reese now running this one hard. Looks for the offload. Finds Levi Moore with some great hands. Keeping the ball alive. Now big run from Moananu. 22nd. Oh, so it's actually, in terms of date-wise, it's the same as Daniel's and George's, just in a different month. Cullen Grace. Now, that was almost a knock-on from Preston. In fact, he's probably got lucky not to drop there. Now, Kimura goes back across to Mighty Williams. I worked today, so spent Valentine's Day working. Hamish don't got girlfriend, he's single and hang out with boys. If you're talking about George, then yes, George, one of the other Kiwi lads, but I'm not sure what you're talking about other than that. But now, Kamara manages to dodge the ankle tap attempt of Xavier Numia. Break down the Hurricanes, at least have someone looking to get that turnover. Will Jordan tackled low by Numia again. And Brandon sounds brutal, says Kerr. And no knock-ons is horrendous, and they want to charge $100 for 2 is outrageous. Yeah, like the fact that early access was glitchy enough for $55, and then they went, I'm going to chuck an extra $35, $40 on top of that for a game that still isn't finished. Scott Barrett goes off to David Havili. Some nice fending coming from the skipper. Ball pops out. Preston gives it to Scott Barrett. Another good hit on him by the double try scorer Jacob Devery. Ethan Blackadder running at Roigard. Now another loose ball. Another short pass, I should say, rather than loose, although that has gone loose in the breakdown. Now the advantage going the way of the Crusaders. Who, what's the top you're wearing? Looks good, says Simon. So it is actually a New Zealand Rugby League World Cup from 2021 shirt. It's a little bit tight, I'll be honest, and it's kind of like that material that you'd see for like someone doing surfing. But I don't mind it. Oh, Havili, short ball there. Close to the line. Jay Thiaki just short again. Loose ball. Kamara picks it up. Where's Tamaiti? This is where you need the biggest man that you can find. They're over. I don't think it was the biggest man, but it is Cullen Grace who manages to score it. He has once again got over the try line. I actually said about it in the preview. They had to have a decent chance of being able to score. He was one of my ones to watch. Brutality continues. And no suit tonight. No suit. It's too warm for a suit. Happy the Chiefs didn't win the Super Bowl. So here's Max. And Rashfest says Fluffy, where's your Crusaders top? I don't actually own one. I have got about 3 Hurricanes tops, even though I'm from Canterbury. But yeah, that seems to be more popular to send me a Canes kit than it is for a Crusaders kit. But that one's gone over. So that's going to make the score now 14-14, just to make it a little bit more exciting. Won $20 from a bet. Let's go, says Max. And Crusaders will get the Nutella at the end of the match, says Charles. And go the Black Cat, says John. Yeah, they're going to be in action in about 2.5 hours' time. Going to send you a Crusaders kit, mate, says Chris. And yes, Amish, yes, Secret Canes supporter. And what channel is this broadcasting on? It is broadcasting on Sky Sport 1 here in New Zealand. I believe Stan Sport has it in Australia. And then I'm not too sure about a few of the other options outside of those two locations. You need a Waratahs kit. You got a Landers kit? I do not know. I think I was going to get one, but then they didn't have my size. So I thought rather than just getting a random size for the sake of having one, I'd wait till they had my size, and then they didn't get it back. And now they're like $150 compared to the $50 when I was looking. How's your Crusaders kit? Got to send you one. Says Chris. Do you have any football tops? I have like a really small Wellington Phoenix one. And same with New Zealand, I think, are the two football ones I have. But they're like from when I was 12. So they wouldn't, well, they probably would fit me, but it would be quite the squeeze. I'm from the UK, big rugby league fan. Aussies usually boss that though. Says Simon Wood. Glasgow and Canes don't need any others. Currently on the halfway line. Cam Roigard. 26 minutes in. That's a rough pass from Devery, but it sits up beautifully for a line breaker Harkin. Now going to the right. Roigard off to Delaney. Have you from Cantab? Why don't you wear Crusaders jersey, Hammy? Because I don't have one. I thought that was established. And now nice pass short. Big run forward from Fihi Finian Norfolk. Good tackle made by Preston, and that's stolen by the Crusaders. Will Jordan, oh no, he's had it stripped off him. And the Hurricanes take it straight back, but then Scott Barrett trying to get the turnover, and he wins it. That was a little bit of an awkward breakdown there. It was pretty much a loose ball that was stripped by Will Jordan, then stripped by Cam Roigard, then Scott Barrett got it on the ground, ripped it away, and got the penalty for the side. I'm joking, as long as you don't even get a Bulls kit, the rugby community doesn't care what you wear, says Kerr. 145 for a jersey is ridiculous. Yeah, like, they are going up, though. I did see that for the, like, premium kit. It's the same overseas, though. The English premium kit from the Six Nations, we were looking at the store during a half-time, and it was 270, I think it was, New Zealand dollars, somewhere around there. Or the non-specialty one was about 170. Will you do New Zealand versus Fiji Football Game World Cup semi-qualifiers on the 21st of March? Probably not, to be honest. Like, I haven't got any football planned at the moment. That one's going to be stuck in the ground after the rolling maul, which means the scrum will once again be in favour of the Canes. Okay, maul was taken in by Red, they've said. Now, we'll go like this, and we will go like that as well. There we go. Now, scrum feed. I was on Auckland Airport last week. I'm sure it was 120 there. For the Blues or something else. It's probably, like, I'd assume that, is that duty free or was it just somewhere else? Because every once in a while they do a little bit of a pre-season sale. Like, I think I saw them a couple weeks ago for about 20% off or 25% off. So that might have been, yeah, the All Blacks. So it's probably not a bad price at the Auckland Airport, which sounds weird to say because normally things at airports are boosted up. I asked ChatGPT who's the lightest player to play at a Rugby World Cup. How much do you think the lightest player ever was? Oh, I would say probably like 65 kgs, maybe 70. Could you put the game on the screen and hold a control, pretend it's Rugby 25? I could not know, because even though the graphics are good in Rugby 25, like, the people who copyright strike things weren't born yesterday, they can tell the difference. And tomorrow, Hammy, I'll visit the TAB and put my bet on the Blues, says Spider Mick. Tomorrow is the Six Nations. It is not. Tomorrow is the URC, Six Nations next week. Who weighed just 58 kgs. Played as a scrum half for Japan. There you go. Back in 1995, back when it wasn't so much about how big you were, it was more so if you had pace, and I assume you would have had a little bit of it. Now, Roigard. Let's do Duplessis Crefi. Now, Roigard looking for the clearing kick, and it's gone out on the full. Real mistake from that man. And damn, says Fluffy, and Mr. Man means to not get copyright by pretending to play. Yeah, but they still don't fall for it. Like, that's something that people used to do for like UFC and boxing and everything like that. And they think that it's fooling them, but really it's just because they haven't found the stream yet. Once they find it, they're gone. Now ready to throw this ball in for Moananu. Now Preston across to Havili. Oh, that was almost a very good offload, but that ball's going to be knocked on by Preston. Nice hands from Mafaleo. Now Fihi Finianorfo has the man on the outside, finds Harkin, I should say. Different player, of course, if it was the L rather than the H. Ball's still there for the Canes. Roigard. Nice sell of the dummy from Harry Godfrey. Another penalty advantage, this time for offside. Stepping through the middle, Umanga Jensen goes to Xavier Numia. Now Roigard, short balls, Iwaka Leowiri with the no-look pass. Hasn't found the hands of Kininolo on the full. And Jerry Wright, former ABs with 65 kg, got all my money on Jordan and Reese. Says GZ. Now back across, Balin Sullivan. Can't quite get through. Now back to the right. We have got the off topic for the group. Does anyone live somewhere with several record stores around them? Seen quite a few in Sydney earlier in the week. Not as common for me at home. Record stores. It's a good question. Are they paid close to 100 million for the rights of Super Rugby? They're not that dumb. You think they're going to let that slide while playing that much for the rights, says Xavier? Yeah, that's pretty fair, isn't it? It's like the ones how they think if you have a mirror, that makes it fine. But nah, they get you every time. I mean, we've had, I think it's 3 copyright strikes from Super Rugby. We've never shown even a second of footage or audio. So that tells you how strict they are on it. The fact that we can have that happen without doing anything wrong. Call morning on the English-Scottish border. Went under 54 points, so I'm in trouble. Possibly. And that one has gone over, so that adds an extra 3. That's going to make the score now 17 points to 14. Hamish, would you accept a Crusaders top if someone brought you one? Says Chris. Probably. We don't really have like a PO box or anything that they can get sent to, so it would have to be like by chance that we're in the same place, I'd say. I got Reese, Jordan, Karifi, and Shields in my fantasy. Says Stone Cold. I think, Will Jordan, has he had an assist so far? No, maybe not. Right, ball available there. Ball's loose. Picked up by Levi Amono. Great diving save from Callum Harkin. Money, always money. Says Spider-Mecha, let's go the Hurricanes. Says Gabriel. Now Karifi. Now Roigard. Like he's just going to send this one towards the touchline. Currently 34 minutes in. That one hasn't found touch. 40 metres out from the line. Kamara goes across to Will Jordan. Now Havili. Inside ball to Jordan. That's going to be a common phrase used throughout this season, I would say. Beautiful wide cut-out pass from the hooker. Sever Reese running sideways. Trying to find a gap. Hasn't been able to find one as of yet. Are you going to attend any games? I don't have plans to, but who knows, maybe at some stage. Oh, Havili having a bit of a fumble with the ball. It does regather. It's popped out the side now, though. Ref says it's gone back. Xavier Numia now taken back. Kanina Holo runs it forward. Another offload to Duplessis Krefi. So Iwaka Leowiri very casual at the moment in the way that they are approaching this one, the Canes. Just trying to find that next gap, but trying to hold on to it for as long as they can. Yorse, quick hands now. Balin Sullivan Shields on the outside to Filina Norfo, who gets through the challenge. And now one-on-one at the back. And he's just gone inside, outside. Offload to Balin Sullivan. He's going to be wrestled into touch. Why don't you go to games, though? Mainly because of the times in terms of travel. So the closest stadium to me is probably, like, on a good day, 3 hours with traffic. So, you know, normally for Super Rugby anyway, there's more than one game taking place on each day. So by committing to going to one game, it means that we more than likely miss at least one or two other streams. And normally, like not the backlash, but like the criticism for missing streams is more than going to a game, if that makes sense. So it's just easier to stream them all. And that way you don't miss any of the matches either. It's the money that we don't want. Watch the game live, says Spider-Mick. And Landers vs. Crusaders in April in Dunedin, says Chris. Luck guy, he's going to be on the field. That is for Brad Shields due to a bit of a blood bin. Don't encourage him. We need him to stream. Or we need the streams, says Kerr. Now, nice step there from Kamara. And gets it into Dutch. Yeah, some great stepping from Fihi Norfo. Just had two different options going both ways. He just was turning Kamara inside out. Eventually, though, he did manage to slow him down enough for the rest of the troops to get back. Nicely claimed by the Canes. Roigard across to Fihi Norfo again. Now, nice piercing run from Cam Roigard. He's a hard man to get down on the turf. Now, Peter Lakai. First carry of the season for him. In terms of the regular season, sitting in my office looking very busy. Listening to you go the Saders, says Sakabula. Now, Godfrey. 10 metres out from the line. Just 3 minutes remaining in the half. I might have to have a shot at half time, bro. Cheers, says GZ. Now, going to be Roigard again off to the left-hand side. Our criticisms for missing streams. We are a tough group. The people new here don't realise we actually have you chained to the desk. Ignore the help sign, folks. Says girl. Oh, quick hands. Beautifully done. Kenny Naholo in the corner scores again. Tell you what, she's back and forth. Someone said Canes by 3. I said Canes by 3 in my preview. But I assume you're talking about someone else maybe. What happened to the Crusaders, the early 2000s? They used to destroy everyone. I mean, early 2000s is a very long time ago. Like, even up till last year, they were destroying everyone. But very nice work at the moment from the Canes. Quick hands out wide. And then Kenny Naholo able to drive towards the corner. Tamaiti Williams. It's a very good finish. And who scored it was Kenny Naholo. Let's go the Hurricanes, says Gabriel. And you Canes by 3, says Robert. What? Nick Berry's just said you can drain the clock if you want to go to halftime. We're 38 minutes in. Surely that clock's wrong then, isn't it? Oh, that's halftime. Okay, so the clock was wrong. For halftime in this contest, and the Canes are up 22 points to 14. They did miss that kick. I was about to say, if Nick Berry's saying to drain the clock for 2 minutes while lining up this kick, that is not ideal. And all great empires fall, says Drape there. And Hurricanes win this game easy and come on Crusaders, says King's Eye. Now, I will mention we are going to be covering the next game that has taken place. That will be between the Highlanders and the Waratahs. So be sure, of course, to stick around with that one. Crusaders come back in the second half, says Chris Hayes. But, yeah, certainly a back and forth half. Looked like the Hurricanes were going to be struggling, and then we did see Crusaders really find their way back in and can't keep it forever. Starts Dake and conversion miss. Yep, so missed that kick in the end. So keeping the score difference at 8 as we currently sit. By the time I got school, I wouldn't know, Zion. I assume that you've got hopefully some sort of schedule that you follow, although you shouldn't have school tomorrow, seeing as it is going to be Saturday. And Crusaders by 13 plus. Come on, boys. So here's GZ. Just got back from the future, and the Hurricanes win 38-19. All right, so a 19-point win. Is that with or without a bonus point, Justin? Hopefully you don't have to travel back to the future to find that out. But if you can let us know, be greatly appreciated. And we have got there about the Crusaders and the chance of coming back. I have to agree. Crusaders by 13. See, even just a Crusaders win, I think, would be acceptable at this point. But to win it by 13 from here is going to take an almighty effort if they were going to be able to do so. But these are the players they've got available off the bench. We've already seen Preston, and he's actually looked pretty good in their 9 jersey after the injury early of Noah Hotham. James O'Connor, an option off the bench, as well as Dallas McLeod, and then that experience of George Bauer in that number 17 jersey. They've got Peter Lakai already out on the field. That was due to Brad Shields having a bit of a head knock. Not so much an HIA, but more so the blood bin side of things. Eri Tara Enery is there off the bench alongside Riley Hohepa and Natunani Punevai in the number 23. And also Pasilio Tosi. Of course, we've got to give that man some credit as he was in the All Black squad for last year. Bit of a bolter. In fact, the biggest bolter out of anyone. I forgot there's no score, sorry. Says King Zion. And give me a second, I forgot to look, says Justin. And Crusaders backs are looking on fire. Says Shard. Yeah, it does seem to be that Severis, Will Jordan, and Havili are actually linking up quite nicely. And then you chuck in a couple nice touches from Levi Moore as well as Fiaki. And it's looking pretty strong. Has the game begun? It has, in fact. And it was 40 minutes ago that it started. Half-time now. And the contest, 22-14. The way that it does currently sit. Do you guys miss the South African teams? Super 15 was the best competition in club rugby history. Good times, says George. Yeah, I think for me in particular, I haven't noticed the massive difference, if that makes sense, just because I cover both competitions anyway. So for some people, they don't get to watch the URC, so they don't see the South African sides in action week in, week out. Like, I mean, this weekend we're going to be covering the games of Super Rugby, and then we've got URC with the 2 South African derbies. So, you know, for me, it's not that much different, but I know for some people they do miss South African sides, and they'll always enjoy watching the Stormers versus the Chiefs, says Justin, and it's Bowden Barrett in the Blues. He's going to be playing at 15 for this game with Damian McKenzie starting at 15 for the Chiefs. Hello, Hamish, hope you're well. Just want to say I'm very, very impressed by the Hurricanes. They're doing very well, says Andre. And got to bring Bauer and James O'Connor on second half. Yeah, although, would you give to Mighty Williams a little bit more time out there? Just, he hasn't found his rhythm yet, I don't think. I don't even know if we've seen him carry the ball, other than maybe once real early on. How the URC standards compared to the Supers? Different competitions and very different styles, I would say. So, it's a tricky one to compare. Because, honestly, there's such a difference in the way that both sides play. Or both competitions play. Super Rugby love it, says Enrique. And we have got there, when is the All Blacks next game? It is going to be in July, or I think they might even have an early game in June that they do get to play. It would be fascinating to see an International Cup final. The Super Rugby champion faces off against the European Champions Cup winner. Fun fact, they actually did that. Except it was Super Rugby and the URC winners. It was Crusaders versus Munster a couple years ago, but no one really knew it was happening because it overlapped with the Six Nations, and also they did an absolutely terrible job of promoting it. So no one even knew that it existed. No one really realised that it was the last minute miss from the Crusaders that then meant that they lost by the narrow margin. But yeah, like if they promoted it big time, would be pretty good. Got Josh in the chat. It says, shut up, Hamish, you talk too much. That's kind of the point. But welcome in, Josh. Hope you are doing well. And welcome back to Rugby Kiwis. I can't go wrong with the Crusaders from South African land. Says Revenant. And URC is much stronger than Super Rugby and crowds are way better. Says Porto. Yeah, they do get the decent attendance. Has the little bit of extra meaning as well because it brings you the opportunity to go into that Champions Cup or Challenge Cup. Tiger Highlanders go undefeated this year, says Porto. Well, in about 4 hours, or in fact less than that, in about 3 hours, we will know whether or not that can still happen. because, of course, Ireland is going to be playing tonight up against the Tars. That's a dream, says Brian. I call super if some teams are hopeless, says Spider Mick. I mean, it's had the name for a while, hasn't it? Are you excited for the Lions tour to Australia? I always look forward to it. This one I'm not so excited for. I am. I think that Australia hopefully will be a bit more competitive than some people are giving them credit for. Like, they didn't do too badly throughout their November internationals as well as the Rugby Championship. There were some good steps in the right direction. Bit concerning that Joe Schmidt's going to be leaving, but that is, of course, due to personal reasons. Like, someone's getting married on the field, and it's being presented by the GJ Gardner guy. I don't even know what his name is, but yeah, they're doing the ceremony under the posts by the looks of it. So they are now married. Lovely. Rugby leadership needs to brand the game better. And they need to bring the Otago Highlanders song with Chainsaw Laney as the team mascot. Paul Bastards. Simon Barnett, is that his name? See, I don't even know what his name was. He used to be on a different show, didn't he? He's like a TV presenter or something. Maybe. I don't know what news outlet he was. And on Valentine's Day, not bad, says Shad. Yeah, it's pretty well timed. I don't know what they mentioned about how it was like at first sight. I don't know whether that was, no, that wouldn't have been married at first sight. I wouldn't think. Right, over 67 points is what they're saying might be likely here. Kid Show, I think. What now? What now? That's the old one with the gorilla, wasn't it? I remember my PE teacher's daughter used to be the gorilla, which is a really weird statement for anyone who doesn't know what now was. Is Shields in the blood bin or is he off blood bin for him? And I hope they're Canes fans, says Porto. And Lowell says Fluffy. It looks like a lovely evening in Christchurch. The sun is still out. Of course, as we get further through the season, you start to lose those sunny days in the evening. Yeah, big family photo taken under the posts. Wonder who organised that. That'd be a hard one to organise, though, I think. And also, I think that's the first time I've seen someone getting married under rugby post during a game. Valentine's Day is a scam, says Justin. He married her whole family. Good luck with the mother-in-law, says George. And Voltron says rape. And Lowell says fluffy. And there too. But second half, not too far away. My mum walking past having a chuckle about the mother-in-law thing. No, that's different George. Different George. Speaking of George, George came around earlier on, ladies and gents, to film a Rugby 25 video. And that is going to be going up hopefully either tonight or tomorrow. But we give an honest review. It's not the greatest game, but we're hopefully going to do more on it in the future. Need more New Zealand Super Rugby teams. Like they have plenty in Taranaki, says Porto. Did you watch the SA20? Some good prospects coming through. Sadly not, but I did see old Bretska doing well for the Proteas. So is he from the SA20? That's commitment though. Best I managed on my wedding day was a big screen TV at the reception, says Kerr. How big was the TV, Kerr? I feel like that's an important question. St. Matty's was awesome, says Drape. And I want the Canes to win, but I pick Crusaders on my tipping. Also, he's saying the home side will get the job done. And it's possible. At the end of the day, both of these sides are extremely competitive throughout the first half. These are the next games that these two sides have. So it gets better and better for the Super Rugby season. Next week, we're going to see the Chiefs versus Crusaders. So this week, the Chiefs have the rematch of the 2024 final. The week after, they are going to be going head-to-head with the finalists from the year prior, the Crusaders, and then the Hurricanes playing the Fijian draw. Those games can always be exciting when they involve the Fijian side. Technically a projector, not sure on precise size, says Kerr. And tasked to win tonight, says Chris Hayes. And New Zealand Rugby needs to double players' pay as a New Zealand Rugby suing one of their sponsors. I heard about that. Yeah, one of the sponsors has had a bit of an issue, or New Zealand Rugby have had an issue with one of the sponsors and it's all going wrong or something. I don't know whether or not like they have enough money to be wanting to always go into those lawsuits. And game by 80 against the Drua. I'm a Crusaders fan, but I don't mind if the Canes win. It's fair enough. That's the thing. Like, I feel like when it's New Zealand versus New Zealand, a lot of people are like, oh, well, whoever wins, wins. But when it's New Zealand versus either an Australian team or someone else, then it always seems to be that people will back New Zealand sides as a whole. And that's the thing. There's so many transfers as well that most of the time the guys who play provincial rugby for one region don't play in that region for Super Rugby. So you kind of lose that alliance. And yes, dear, of course, we can get married, but it'll need to be at half time, says Kerr. And who said the Tars are winning? They're playing this year's champions, the Highlanders, says Porto. Well, mainly because it's the south and the south of the North Island, basically, says Josh. I bet the house on the Highlanders going undefeated and winning it all. That's brave, Porto. In fact, while we're at it, we might as well see exactly what it's sitting like for them to do so. Now, I would assume that it would be a fair amount. Next to go, do they? Oh, no, okay. They don't have the outright option because the game is currently happening. But they come in as underdogs up against the Waratahs. Some pretty good underdogs this week, to be fair. Highlanders, Fiji and Drua, Chiefs, and Moana Pacifica. And for this game, the Hurricanes were underdogs, about $2.50 for this contest, which is actually what the Crusaders find themselves at going into the second half now. $1.10 maybe to be the champs. Imagine we get the new stadium. It's coming. It's going to take a little bit longer, but they will eventually be able to play games from inside it. But I think that's 2026 is when it's expected to be all finished. Josh Grow up here and pick one, says George. But why should he have to? Like, if he doesn't mind who wins, it's fine. So who's your pick to win this one, George? And as you're so blunt and to the point. You know the meaning of Valentine Hemi? No, not really. Cupid, like, shot someone, didn't he? I think that's the gist of it. Shot them in the ass with a bow and arrow. I don't know whether or not you can go around doing that nowadays. Get you in trouble. Oh, no, he had to shoot two people. Boom, boom, and then they fell in love. That's the story of Valentine's Day. I don't mind who wins, as long as it's the Canes. CSK, the Savia brothers will be awesome for the draw this year. Not quite the Moana Pacifica side, but yes, will be awesome seeing them both same location. Will the Kias be the new NRL side from Christchurch? I do not know, to be honest. When All Blacks and South Africa have their 3-match tour, they need to treat us with New Zealand clubs versus South African clubs, and even All Blacks B team versus South Africa B team the night before. I picked Crusaders, but looks like that's not happening, says George. Although some people have said that they're still going to win by 13 from here. Just about to go for the second half, ladies and gents. 22-14, 8 points difference. And morning, Hamish. Says Kurno Rick, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. And kickoff just taking place. And still, Black is Taffy outside here in the sticks in Britain. Says Kurno Rick, and got the Canes winning in the Landers for today, says Bushpick. Now Roigard will go with the box kick off the left boot. Originated Christian Feast Day, honouring the matter named Valentine. So you're saying there was no bow and arrow? It's quite sad. I used to do a bit of archery, only when they had it as an activity at school. I didn't shoot anyone in the ass. Now, Roigard going off to the left-hand side. Jacob Devery already got himself 2 tries in the original first 40 minutes. How I miss our South African teams in Super Rugby, but I still love to watch. I was always a Kane supporter because of Christian Cullen. What a legend, says Roger. And tell you what, the Hurricanes are not too far away from being able to score a try here. Devery looked like he was very close to knocking that ball on. Now Roigard, bit of a rough pass. Godfrey has to jump on it. He's got Severis all over him. And we have got the green mate, says Gurno Wick now. A little bit high tackle wise from Shelfern, and it will be the advantage against the Crusaders. Roigard looking back to the right-hand side. Cross kick from Godfrey. Nicely taken by Fihi Finina Norfo, and he runs out of space. Are you about to get into a bar fight? Which rugby player are you choosing to back you? Picking prime Heinrich Bruzo. Well, surely I could just leave the bar, because then it's not a bar fight. Working smarter, not harder. And Stormers versus the Chiefs game 2017, I think it was an awesome game to watch, says Bushpig. And up the Hurricanes, says Emery. Penalties conceded. 6 against the Crusaders at the moment, 4 against the Hurricanes. And they have decided that they want to go for the corner rather than going for the 3 points. So it just shows you the aggressive nature at the moment from both teams, in fact. Springboks versus All Blacks was and still is the rivalry in rugby history, present, future, to come, period, says George. Now, Jacob Devery, this is a chance for him to work towards the hat trick. He's only scored 3 tries throughout his whole career for the Hurricanes. He's got 2 already today. And go for the try, Hurricanes, says Emery. And stolen by the Crusaders. 5 metres out from the line, and it's a lovely steal. Back into the pocket for David Havili. Actually going to be a decent kick downfield there. Probably making about 40 metres in the process. Thought about throwing it quickly. Kanina Holo says no thank you. Right, Isaiah Walker-Leawiri, he's gone off the field with an injury. So that's a big one, and that's going to be now Hugo Plummer, who makes his way on. Duplessis Karifi sits down Ethan Blackadder. He's injured. He's holding his arm or his finger, I think it might be. I mentioned about it early on in my preview how there was a sweepstake of how early Ethan Blackadder would get injured. Match number 1 was quite popular. And now off to the left-hand side, Delaney. Yeah, Blackadder's holding his wrist like this. He's not looking good at the moment. He looks like he's trying to hold his hand on so that it doesn't fall off. Now, Kenny Naholo, close to the touchline. Just looking around for... Right, he looks like he's... Oh, he's going to... Nah, he's not good there. He's trying to make a tackle one-handed pretty much there for Ethan Blackadder. Little chip in behind. Awkward bounce and ball. Well cleaned up by the youngster Preston. Wise words, mate. Walk away. Avoid the hassle, says Gurno Wick. Who's the most handsome Super Rugby player? Can you run a poll of the top 10 hottest players, says Porter? I'll let you do that in your spare time, I'd say. And Crusaders injury management is exponentially atrocious. Or expectedly, atrocious. When is something going to change? And not good. Always hope first game goes without cards and injury. Got it all this game, says Kerr. Yeah, we've already seen the injury of Noah Hotham. We're seeing the injury of Ethan Blackadder, which is just something that we're saying far too often. Zaya Walker-Leawiri, he's off with an injury. Brad Shields is off because he got busted open. So, not ideal. That's 4 at the moment we're up to. Oh, no. Okay, dislocated finger, he'll be fine. Sweet ass. Blackadder's good. As long as he doesn't go on to injure something worse here, it's all right. Now, nicely thrown, although, but too much on that one. Scott Barrett cleans it up. Okay, so he's got the ball there. Oh, Harry Godfrey was about as close as you can get to winning a penalty plus a card, says Kerr. Yeah, although that's just the Barrett special early on, isn't it? For Scott, hopefully it's the only card he gets for the whole season. I reckon the Brumbies are going to be the team to watch out for again. I'll be completely honest. This is going to sound bad, right? And I hope they prove me wrong. But I looked through at the Brumbies match squad for the Fijian draw game, and it just didn't look as good as it normally does. And maybe that's because they've got a couple players not playing, like they haven't got Valentini in there, no Tom Wright in there, and whatnot. But just it looked a little bit less than I expected for the Brumbies. It looks like you've been going to the gym, not going to lie. I think it's the shirt. It's very tight, to be honest. Like that's not actually a thing. That's not there. That's just the shirt. But off to the right-hand side, Will Jordan passes to Fiaki. Oh, he throws the ball at the line. That wouldn't be a try in any sport, I don't believe. Unless it went into a net, then you could get away with like a handball or something. And we have got the Eddie Jones, the most sexiest. Yeah, Che Fiaki just driven across by Kitty Naholo. Just tried to throw the ball at the line. Now 5-metre line out for the Canes. Jacob Devery. Once again, fast pace to the second half, the way that both sides have come out swinging. And we have got the Crusaders for a yellow card this half. I don't think I've ever heard a referee describe a line out as dirty, but that's what Nick Berry just said. He said, guys, this is looking a little bit dirty. Can we have a bit more space in between us? Canes for the yellow card, says Chris. Would match the kit, although not for this game because they are wearing that kind of dark grey. Nice clearing kick from Cam Roigard again. Antoine Dupont is the third best number 9 in the world behind Grant Williams and Cam Roigard, says Jaden Philander. I mean, Dupont's pretty solid. I would love to see Grant Williams be given more starting minutes. Just because I was doing all the maths last year, and we were going to do a video talking about it, but instead we didn't. But it was going to be based off how many minutes certain players had had. And I think Grant Williams had only had 2 starts or something like that for the Springboks throughout 2024, which was a big shame. And then Cam Roigard probably didn't have that many more due to his injuries in Super Rugby. Gibson Park night. Yeah, Gibson Park's really doing well for Ireland and has been consistent over the last little while. Roger, you still live in caveman's time. Now it's going to be thrown in. Oh, a good shot on Preston. Havili running up the middle of the park. Protected by Blackadder. Now across to Shelfoon. They're best to roll out of there. Oh, a little bit of a fumble by Cullen Grace. It's actually opened up a much bigger gap, and Severis to run it for the corner gets there. It was an effort from Fernando Fo, but he wasn't able to stop Severis from getting in the corner, and the Crusaders now once again are back into this game. Warren Gatland is a silver fox. Okay, seems we will judge who is the most handsome coach. And in terms of the best 9s of the world, the only mentions of Williams is, who is he? Maybe in the future, but right now he's not even an honourable mention, says Kerr. And Porto, this is not only fans, says George. Oh, okay. No, hang on. Severis' try, I think, is going to be ruled out because they feel like David Havili dropped the ball. Okay, clear knock on. Havili, when he hits the ground. As he hits the ground. Okay, so it's going to be the knock on from Havili, and that's going to cancel out that try. Severis will be disappointed, as that is one of his first touches other than when he ran almost the full length of the field sideways. No prop as the Silver Fox, says Reflecting Trees. Currently 49 minutes in. No, just pointing out what an awesome squad that 2003 squad was. Could have run out as an All Black squad. Now 49 minutes. The first 10 or so minutes took a little while. But I feel like once these two sides found their rhythm, then from there, it was a very subtle knock on. Okay, Justin Marshall just saying Duplessis Karefi dislodged the ball, but that was, of course, after Havili had dropped the ball. Actually, he was a hooker. Havili is ancient. He is so old, they have statues of him in Egypt, says Drape. He's not that old, is he? David Havili, like 33 maybe? We're going to have a quick look. He's 30. He's very young. He's been around a long time. The Mummy starring David Havili. Surely we can find probably at least 10 players out there on the field who are older than him out there, right? Brad Shields for one. He is up there in the age department. Oh, attack and run from Cullen Grace. Quite get the offload away. Havili. Oh, good work in the breakdown from the Canes. No, penalty goes against them. Okay, so you picked it up, then knocked it back on your second attempt. There's Balin Sullivan's penalty there. Gatlin quit. He was advised and allowed to resign. Behind closed doors, he was booted. Says Kerr. I subscribe, says Zion there. And also I agree with you on DuPont, says Polly Guy. And Brad is a young hottie, according to Porto. But yeah, so for Balin Sullivan, just got it slightly wrong in trying to steal that ball back. Did look pretty good, though. Line out throw, Ioane. Moananu. Carter, the best 10 in the world, says Chris Hayes. Thrown in. Nicely taken by Christian Leo Willie. And they get it rolling forward. I want to see Tamaiti Williams with the ball in hand. The bloke's like 150 kgs. And at the moment, he's just chilling. Now across to Christian Leo Willie. I think if you get them within 2 metres, you chuck old Tamaiti at the line, you're scoring 9 times out of 10. David Havili is a star player for the All Blacks and the Crusaders. Twice #1 player and most handsome of the world. Says Bordeaux now Havili. Drop ball from Ethan Blackadder, picked up by Reese. Inside border, Levi Amoy sits down. I believe it was Duplessis Kharifi. Now Fletcher Null takes it. 10 metres out from the try line here. Reese, pick and go. 5 metres out. Oh, Tamaiti Williams just face planted the ground trying to get a clean out. He completely missed him and they'll go back for another penalty. What do you think is the chapter next for Gatland? I need someone to replace that fraud at the Stormers, says Jaden. I don't think we're going to see... Like, I would be very surprised if Gatland does take up another role. Not because of what's happened with Wales, but just because he doesn't really need to. Like, he might look at a club side somewhere. But I don't think he'll be back in an international job. Just because, like, he just won't see it as... much point. You know, I could be wrong. Warren Gatlin set the cast and the cast was bad. And Gatlin will enjoy retirement, says Kerr. And I agree with Matt Williams, but he's right when he said at this moment Wales just don't have much talent to put on the pitch, says Kerr. And the concerning part is the guys coming up through the rankings, like they're becoming smaller and smaller numbers, which means eventually like you're going to be forced to just play whoever's available. Which hopefully will not be the case, but it's getting closer to that for the Welsh. And there's a score 14 points to 22. That is correct. The scoreboard decided that it wanted to keep that on for the Crusaders. Must have liked Severese's try, although tell you what, they're not too far away from getting one here. 1-on-1 Kamara, missed tackle from Kinina Holo. As he rushed forward, right. Roigard needed to roll away there. He did not. If the Hurricanes turn this ball over, that is pretty poor officiating, as Roigard's still playing the ball on the ground. Okay, that was probably 2 penalties that could have gone against Roigard in a row. Luckily, the kick is awful from the Hurricanes, and it will still be a Crusaders lineup, but I think that they've really missed something there. We're going to see the replay. Cam Roigard, he is the one who made the first initial tackle, makes it, has to roll away, blocks the initial guy who's trying to join in, and then from there also plays the ball on the ground to chuck it on the side of the Hurricanes. Roigard has my heart. What an athlete. I mean, there's no denying how strong of a player he is. He was very cheeky in that one breakdown. For the Crusaders, it didn't go. Oh, Havili's hands have just cost them. He dropped it cold. And Quaid was better than Carter, but Quaid got injured too much. Says Porto. A nice carry from Will Jordan. Goes across to Kamara. Shell Foon trying to build up some speed. Runs straight at Roigard. Rear card. So he's reflecting trees. Little chip behind from David Havili. Will Jordan gets it. Passes out wide to Severese. Chips it. Oh, it's going to be the banana kick on the inside to Preston. That's got to be close to try of the season. Even after multiple weeks, about 6 or 7 weeks' time, we'll still say that one's got to be right up there. Counter-attacking at its finest from the Crusaders. And Kyle Preston gets his second try of the match. What a try, says Joshua. Yeah, inside of their own half. Little chip in behind from David Arveli. Wide cutout pass from Will Jordan. And then the kick off the left boot. Sees the gap. That's poor from Umaga Jensen. He was jogging. Felt like he had no shot of being able to get towards it and playing on the edge. Not what you do. It's what you get caught doing, says Kerr. And then it sits up for Preston to finish the job. Picking up the double on debut. And the clap in there from Kerr. I really need Reese to score that. I mean, he gets a try assist, though, so surely that gets you something in terms of your Super Ru or your fantasy picks. That kick's gone over. It's now going to make the score after 56 minutes, 21-22. Right, they're just showing the replay in terms of the fact that Kenny Naholo was the only one who was going to be able to cover. I haven't seen Peter Umaga Jensen at all throughout this game. Do correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gents, anyone who's watching, but what has he done in that 12 jersey up till this point? I just can't think of a carry or anything that man has had. He's also jogging after that one. Lakai onto the field. That is for Braden Yossi. I'd actually say that's fair comment about Carter. I'd be inclined to mostly agree, says Kerr. And nicely done, says Septimus. Oh, that was taking a man off the ball. Roigard's been penalised this time. He looked handsome and that's all that matters. Says Porto. Now 23 minutes remaining. I feel like this one's going to go down to the wire. Lakai to get on the score sheet in 10 minutes or less. Yeah, he's a phenomenal talent. Peter Lakai, he's done all the invisible work as well in the 12 jumper. And Jordan was way ahead of the kicker. It should not be a try for the Crusaders. I didn't say anything, right? Oh, that's not straight from the Crusaders now. But the chip one, it did look like it was flat at best in terms of the chase from Jordan after the Harveli chip. They didn't really look at it, though. They just said, yep, all good. Right, quick tab taken here for the Hurricanes. Balin Sullivan drops it. Of the pass of Umaga Jensen, that was unnecessary from Blackadder. And all that he's done there is he's probably escalated something that didn't need to be escalated, and this might end up with the Hurricanes getting the ball back. I think Lakai is underrated, getting better and better. Hope we see more from him. Yeah, he's looking like a real talent. Peter Lakai, I was glad to see him get some All Blacks minutes last week. Right, so Peter Umaga Jensen passed the ball away. Blackadder tipped him up. I think this one might get reversed here. Right, it's going to be a penalty against Blackadder for the lift. Best way of describing that is brain dead. 22 minutes remaining in this one. You don't need to do that. Your team had a little bit of momentum. Opposition dropped the ball. And then for no reason whatsoever, you just go for a tip tackle after the ref's blown his whistle. Why? Right, and now the Hurricanes are going to be taking a shot. This will give them a little bit more of a lead. Last year, Sada Supers, I said he was one to watch. Going to be a great AB, says Kerr. And like I primed to join the Roosters or the Storm, says Porto. Right, this one's going to be the furthest out kick of the day up the Saders, says Chris Hayes. So James O'Connor might not be a mile off making his way onto the field here for the Crusaders. Excited for the next journey. Normally wearing a red kit, but just not for the Cantabrians. Right. Callum Harkin. I've just said there, he kicked the winning penalty in the NPC final in extra time. This one, he's got a strong tailwind and a 62% chance of this one going over. Straight down the middle. Never, ever looked like missing. And that will give them the lead now of the 4 points, making it 25-21. Have we got there, 21-25. Says Radar there. And up the Saders, says Chris. Right, James O'Connor, debut for the Crusaders. That's going to be for Kimura. Now Brad Shields wrestled down by Christian Leo Willie. Pass back into the 22. Clearing kick from Harry Godfrey, who's been relatively solid in that number 10 jersey. No real mistakes. Here comes James O'Connor. Breaks through one tackle. Good start to his Crusaders career. Fletcher Null chopped down at the kneecaps. Mighty Williams still, yeah, he is still on the field. He's getting slower though. The big man might not be a mile off getting replaced by George Bauer. Crusaders will win it, says Chris. It's certainly close. Peter Larkai running forward. Almost the turnover on the ground. Roigard kicks it high. Reese waits for it, takes it nicely. Then he is tackled by Balin Sullivan. Preston back to Blackadder. There'll be a big hit coming in on him, I would assume, after what happened. After that last penalty. Shalfoon. A lot of carries throughout this match as well. The return of Super Rugby. It is the first round, opening contest. And it's a pretty close one between these two teams. Now, my original prediction for this match was 24-21 in favour of the Hurricanes. But the end result that I decided on was Hurricanes by 3. We're not a mile off that at the moment, but still a lot of time left on the clock. So, of course, a lot can change in the last quarter. Xavier Numier, tackle on him, who's got the try on both sides so far. And what is the time? Says Ilaria. So, currently, we're 60 minutes in. Tries, we've seen 2 for Jacob Devery, 1 for Kini Naholo. I believe that's all of the tries for the Hurricanes that we've seen so far. And then for the Crusaders, we've seen the 2 tries for Preston. That's going to go dead. Too much juice on it from Cam Roigard. And then the other try was scored by... Who got the other try for the Crusaders? 2 for the replacement. And then... Cullen Grace got the other one. Won an opening game, says Jan Lebrand. Did you mention James O'Connor name? I did indeed. And he had a nice line break for his first carry of his Super Rugby season. Right. Cullen Grace is off. So is Mighty Williams. DeVries got most fantasy points so far. I wonder how many people actually picked him. Who James O'Connor playing for? He's playing for the Crusaders. Just showing their Fijian draw versus the Brumbies. That has taken place tomorrow. Then also the Chiefs versus the Blues. And then Moana Pacifica versus the Western Force. Those are the 3 matches. I believe we're covering 2 out of those 3. And then also later on tonight we are covering the match taking place in about an hour. And that is going to be the match between the Highlanders and the Waratahs. Crusaders to score next. Here's Chris Hayes. And yeah, Hurricanes back in front. They beat those Clowns Crusaders twice last year. Says Emery. Did they beat them twice? I thought they only played once last year. And it was actually at OrangeTheory Stadium, and that's where we saw the Crusaders defeated by the Canes in a close game, 14 points to 10, I believe it was. Now James O'Connor, nice quick hands, passing out wide to Cerise, running towards the sideline. That's going to be a forward pass, or at least I thought it should have been. Nick Berry. It's a try. Preston gets the hat trick. Oh no, there we go. They've realised what's happened. It went forward by about 5 metres. Sunday Skydive stream. I don't know about a stream. I'll probably record it for something. I have no idea what to have it in though, like whether or not to have it in a random vlog or like a summary type thing. Is Will Jordan on? And if so, how's he going? He's had a couple good inside runs. Justin said his hands are going backwards, but Justin also loves the Crusaders. Are they going to look at it again? Right, so they've said as long as his hands look like they're going back. No. Like, it's travelled quite far forward. Right, so Justin feels that that was a try. As he said that, he said that the hands were going backwards, but it did still, it's very hard to tell if his hands were going backwards when he is falling forwards as well. I should be back in the Crusaders, says Chris Hayes, and swirling forward pass, says JD. A minute, Mahomes need that passing on Monday. Yeah, he was atrocious, wasn't he, unfortunately, for him. The wind says reflecting trees. Well, that's the thing. The wind would have actually been pushing it more towards being a legal pass. So that means that it would have been even further forward had it not been for the wind. Right, free kick goes the way of the Canes. They will be able to clear their lines. Kicking downfield with the wind. Goes into touch, maybe only about 25 metres out, if not maybe 22. For the line, give Hamish credit, regardless of who is playing, he maintains an unbiased position. Says Kerr, I do try my best. Some people get annoyed because they feel like I should be supporting certain sides. But overall, these two sides have been relatively even, and honestly, it could go either way. Nice inside ball to George Bower. Right down 10 metres out for the line. Sever Reese with a pick and go. Goes out to Corey Callow. Now, right, Bower has already had more carries in the 1 minute he's been on the field than Tamaiti had throughout his whole 62. Now back to the left-hand side. Come on, the Crusaders, says FRP. And Gaines got this 100% Hamish, says Emery, although now the Crusaders skip past Jordan. Throws it straight into the hands of Harry Godfrey. Now 22 metres out, the Canes have got it. That's one of those passes that if it finds Crusaders' hands, it's a try. If it finds the Hurricanes, they once again possession. And honestly, if he hadn't slipped a little bit and had a bit more acceleration, he could have found his way all the way. When is the All Blacks starting, and what will they be, or who will they be going against? So they are playing in July, so a very long time till we get to see those ones taking place. Moananu now, tackled on the halfway line. Back across. Martinga. Those couple extra metres. James O'Connor with the pass that looked forward. I think they're going to say it went backwards. Havili now. Crashes up forward. Well, yeah, I mean, a bit ridiculous when you don't openly boo decisions against Glasgow, says Kerr. Now James O'Connor, little flat ball to Will Jordan. Has Reese on his outside if he wants it, but instead is going to be tackled well by Harry Godfrey. Offload up to Moananu. Now Christian Leo Willie up to Martinga again. Hamish, if I marry your sister, we will become brothers, says George. Well, I know that's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is Sever Reese manages to score the try, and the Crusaders take the lead with 15 to go. He had his try cancelled out earlier on, but this time it will stand. And hi, brother Hamish up the Canes, says David the Mod. And we have got the Crusaders got the gas, but the Hurricanes defence is better than the Crusaders, says Emery. Second half back on, says Enrique. And no, says Draven. Yes, says Stone Cold. I know you were hoping for a Stephen Reese try. And just really nicely done by Will Jordan. Realised that he was isolated, so he didn't want the Hurricanes to get that turnover. And then quick hands from McLeod, who only just made his way onto the field as well. Lakai tried to put in the ankle tap. And at that point, it was already in the in-goal area. It was only going to be a technicality. And also in Canterbury Rugby, says FRP zone. Now lining up this kick, James O'Connor. Off the kicking tee, straight down the middle. He'll be very happy with his first ever kick for the Crusaders. Now making the score 28 points to 25. And I Hamish up the Canes. Says David, welcome in, mate. Doing extremely well. What side is Will Jordan on? He is on the Crusaders side. See, we're re-celebrating that one big time. Now, 14 minutes left. The odds at halftime were interesting. The Hurricanes now are $2.75 underdogs in this match. That is more than they were at kickoff. Loud, says George. And can Dab bench not strong enough, falling away at the last part of the match, says Eric. Now Martinga. Already been quite busy since making his way on. Same with Bauer. The two props for the Crusaders honestly have made a bit of the difference. And good evening, says Enrique. And Kane's bench not strong enough, falling away last part of the match, says Eric. They did also have to make quite a few of their changes early, like in terms of Isaiah Walker-Leawiri. He had to make his way from the field. But yeah, it does just seem like maybe the Crusaders as a whole have got that little bit more cohesion off the bench. Just helped them big time. Oh, rush defense on Basilio Tosi. Get himself some cats for the ABs last year. Crusaders winning this game, says George. And good, brother, I've been busy with a new job. How are you, bro? Says David. So hopefully the new job is going well, David. Nice run around the side from Natunani Punevai. And we're going back. And looks like Nick Berry, not sure who it was. Knock on against the Canes. Okay, Nick Berry just said, that ball bobbled around. Make sure there's not a double in there. Meaning double knock on. So knock on first from the Canes anyway, by the sounds of it. Busy as always down in New Zealand right now, which is also nice, off to Miami on the 20th. As Brad Shields and Karifi still on. So Karifi, I believe, is. Brad Shields, I think also is, because Brad and Yossi came off for Lakai. And up the Crusaders, let's go, says Chris, and I agree, Crusaders for the win. And come on, the Crusaders, and what the hell, everybody crazy about Valentine's stuff. I believe in that stuff, says Enrique. I don't think everyone's crazy about it. I think two people mentioned it earlier, and then that was about it. But, yeah. It's one of those ones that, like, you either follow or you don't. Most single people don't, for obvious reasons. But now Will Jordan on the halfway line. Passes. Oh, that looked a bit high on him. Out to David Havili. Bumps off Kini Naholo. Good powerful run forward. Riley Hohepa, he's on the field for Finiar Norfo. O'Connor trying to sneak his way through, but Kini Naholo manages to drag him down. 40 metres out from the line. Crusaders still in possession. Nishal, as said, listening all the way from Fiji. Welcome in. We are going to be covering the Fiji and Drua game tomorrow up against the Brumbies, so be sure to pop in for that contest. Now, ball available again. George Bauer. They're just putting phases together now. Blackadder, two-man tackle on him by Tupu Tupu and Lakai. Scott Barrett, no-look pass. It's probably the most phases that we've actually seen from the Crusaders throughout the whole day, or at least close to it. Will Jordan, another skip pass out wide. That's where the Hurricanes at the moment are getting cut open by these balls towards the touchline. That one got a little bit too close to the touchline and does go out. 10 minutes left, though, in this contest. Valentine sucks, says George. So just out of curiosity, what is your relationship status, George? Is it a single fellow? Because if it is, I think a lot of single fellows do not like Valentine's Day much, as it reminds them that they're single. And O'Connor is doing a good so far, and go the Canes, says Litatia. And we have got all the best Crusaders, says Nathal there. And let's go the Red, says Michael. But now, calling of a knock-on by the sounds of it. David Havili just having a little bit of a stretch. Crusaders want some sugar canes. And let's go the Red, says Michael. O'Connor doing good so far. He actually is. Yeah, he's found some nice rhythm at the moment. So, yeah, hopefully he's going to be able to do the same thing throughout the rest of the season. And also, hopefully he avoids the injuries. Because unfortunately, one thing that does happen quite a bit for the Crusaders is they bring someone in for the new season, and it's someone with a lot of experience, and then they get injured, and likes of Lee Halfpenny, it was the case with him. I think the same with, what's his face? Johnny McNichol, he was a bit the same. And joined the game with a base and a grog. There's Nathal there. And also we got the Hamish 2000. Oh, happy 2025, Hamish. Same to you, Daniel. It's great to see you. 9 minutes remaining. 3 points difference between these two sides. Now, my original prediction was Canes by 3. But I'm going to be wrong. The question is, will the margin be right just with the wrong team? Big scrum there. Crusaders keep possession. Dallas McLeod. 22 metres out, going off to the right-hand side this time. Actually, I have a girlfriend and she agrees with me. Money-making scheme. Says George. So how'd she feel about you saying that you were going to marry my sister? Is she happy about that comment? Now going off to the left-hand side. Martinga. Nice carry. Now off to Dallas McLeod. And I just put a whiskey coffee down the old red lane. Tidy for a Friday. Says Gurno Wick. Are you still doing the reaction videos? They were great. Which reactions are we talking? Do let me know. But now David Arvili kicks it up high. Will Jordan not able to take it, and Sever Reese knocks it on. They're going back for another penalty to the Crusaders. They might opt for the 3 here just to give them enough of a lead. Do you reckon it's a tidy game? It's been a bit scrappy, but that's always to be expected for the start of a season. Who was the player of the match so far on the Crusaders side of things? See, Harfield, had a decent game overall, although he's had a couple errors along the way. Reese has been good when he's had the ball, but he hasn't had it enough, I don't think. Jordan's probably a safe bet in terms of what he's been able to do. Or you go with the youngster, man off the bench, Preston. He scored himself 2 tries in this match and was called upon. Take the 3, they've gone for the 7. They're looking for the corner. Reaction to the Insta Reels I sent you. Says, Kerr, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Eritara Inery makes his way on. He replaces Cam Roigard. Of course, normally plays for the Crusaders. Instead wearing the opposition kit today. Thrown in, nicely taken by Scott Barrett. Rolling ball now, chance here for the Crusaders. Anything less than 5 would be considered as a disappointment here for the Crusaders, seeing as they opted to go for the try. It's going to be well defended. David Arvili wrestled down. 2 Hurricanes players jumping in there. They were told not to use it. No, mate, just kidding. I was complimenting you worthy of my brother, says George. That's a good save, or else you might have been sleeping on the couch. Now only a couple metres out from the try line. Sever Reese looking for it, as he normally does when we're this close to the try line. For any New Zealand side, really. Now, no advantage. Around the side of the breakdown, Martinga flattens out. Great defence at the moment from the Hurricanes, but it's going to be the hat-trick for Preston. Right, he's got to be the man of the match, doesn't he? 3 tries on debut. I didn't realise his one match was actually this match. I thought that his one match was like one in pre-season, but no, this is his debut, and he's got 3. And these teams will play in the final. What is your player of the match on the Hurricane side of things? For the Hurricanes, I would probably go either Fihi Finina Nofo or I would probably go him. Like, Naholo's been solid. Roigard honestly hasn't had his greatest game ever. Like, normally you would see a bit more of him, but he's given away a couple penalties and kicked it dead couple times too. Yep, Preston for player of the match, definitely. Says David the Mod. 75 minutes in. This kick to make it a 10-point lead for the Crusaders. Canes really have a look at themselves after this performance. O'Connor has missed try time but review. I'll take your cricket matches away to the game tomorrow. No, it is a home match, but I won't be playing in it, seeing as it is round 1 of Super Rugby, so we're going to be taking a break. Plus, I got a busy Sunday. And how many minutes left, bro? Still 5. And where did the lights from the stadium come from? I don't actually. I think it's the near side now that I think about it. It's a bit hard to tell, but yeah, near side and far side. That's going to be the penalty going the way of the Hurricanes. My girlfriend knows I joke a lot, sometimes a bit over the top, I don't think there was meant to be a repeat there, was there? And Crusaders have this surely. The second half Canes are just not there. Oh, okay, they're going to take on the 3 points now, though, so that will bring them within the 7. They have to finish this well. Because at the moment, it just is not quite looking like they'd like it to. Any cricket this weekend, Hamish? Not for myself. There is going to be cricket in about an hour and a half. We're going to get to see the Black Caps play in Pakistan. We'll be keeping an eye on that one. It's missed. Missed away to the side. That one had to go over for Callum Harkin. Now that it hasn't, it's going to be a big concern for the Hurricane supporters. Right. Another debutant. Leon McDonald, Aaron Manger, the only 2 younger players to have their debut for the Crusaders. Letiu off the bench, though. Big chance for him. Now, on the halfway line, Peter Larkai looking to attack, and he is tackled by the youngster, Iritara Eneri. Looking both ways. Either way, the Hurricanes need some form of points to at least get one from this game. Was the Waratahs favourite over the Highlanders? They certainly are, yep. Probably, actually, now that I think about it, are they the biggest favourite of the weekend? 142, no, not quite. The Force are the biggest favourite of the weekend, and then the Waratahs are second biggest favourites. So, Highlanders not given much of a chance, even though they've got a pretty decent turnout for this one. I heard no one went to the game, says Ford. It's not a bad turnout. Like, it's probably about, I want to say 75% full, which, you know, because we're still in cricket season, that is one of the reasons why attendance normally isn't as high as it could be. Like Super Smash still going on. So then people are normally a little bit more pick and choosing about which games they go to. I said the Crusaders by 8 on the Super Rugby predictor thingy. Says Bolly Guy, well, you're not a mile off now as long as something goes right here, and that has for the Crusaders. Knock on in the breakdown. I'm going to try for the Crusaders for the bonus point. Says Johan, I've never seen Hamish look like such an athlete. Is it because you are feeling awake? Or is it the shirt? Like, never seen Hamish look like such an athlete. In what regard, RIP? Because I'm feeling awake. I mean, I yawned earlier, but I'm relatively awake. I think it's the shirt. The shirt's doing more for me than I realised, I guess, because you guys have been saying I look like I've almost lifted a weight before, which is much more than I think I look like. What's your favourite sport? I'd go. It's the same rugby cricket for me. Like both of those are even, and I know that that's controversial because some people say that you can't like both. Have you been working out? Not that I know of. Maybe in my sleep, I guess. But in terms of like actually gymming, no. I mean, cricket season's going on, so maybe that's just doing something, but not that I know of. Didn't they come from the House of Pain, Carisbrook Stadium? We have got there, as in your home ground on the street, that the street spirits are on for the weekend. Isn't your home ground on the street, or the street sprints? That's like the hometown. Someone say gin, says Skirt. Now, 13 seconds remaining. Do the Crusaders realise that they could get that bonus point? I don't know whether they do. Although now it looks like they're being a little bit more aggressive. Sever Reese going to pass it on the outside to David Harvilli. Full-time siren. Oh, stolen by Iritara Eneri, but he's knocked it out. And that will be the win. Crusaders by 8. And they have started their season off with a bang. Last season they won 4. This season they've already got the 1. And it's up against a tough side in the Hurricanes. I like the casual look better than the tie. I'm not distracted by your dress. says Robert. And we have got the Hurricanes. We're playing as ready now. I like the Blues more than the Crusaders, and I don't like the Hurricanes, but I show respect, says Kings On. That's the main thing. As long as you're showing respect. Back in the day, there was only rugby, cricket, netball, and horse racing, says David the Mod. You're doing the TAR game next. We are indeed doing TARs versus Landers. And that one's going to be starting in around 45 minutes' time. So actually a little bit of a gap between the two streams. A good game, Crusaders fans, and for Q2. And also we got the hats off to the Crusaders. Well done. Stuck at it and took the win. Hurricanes should sort it out. And one of the Crusaders says Septimus. And there as well. But nonetheless, that means our predictions so far this season, we are sitting 0 from 1. That's a good start. I feel like maybe we should actually add up how many I get right. It would only be 2 a season, I would say. But next game, I haven't got a prediction for that one yet, so I'll come up with one during the break. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in to this very first Super Rugby Pacific stream. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Highlanders playing in a couple, or in fact, less than an hour, 45 minutes time. And then alongside that tomorrow, we've got Blues versus Chiefs, Fijian draw versus the Brumbies. And then maybe Moana Pacifica versus the Western Force. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next one.